the nail in the coffin, which really started and really promoted the inflation, was
like, you don't know how much your office spent in, alcohol swabs last month, do you?
No.
You don't even know. I don't even think you know what your power bill for your office was last month.
No.
I don't know that you know that your power bill for your home.
Yes.
You do know that?
Yes.
So you do the home stuff. You just don't.
I hear about it.
Oh, does Romina tell you?
She bitches about it. The bill keeps going up.
Well, Dan, the bill's going up because it's not necessarily you're using more energy. Didn't you get that? Everybody that lives in it's a 13 to 15% raise on your power bill.
Yes, they're prison raping us, and it's not fair because everybody seems to be doing it the same year, and everyone's suffering because of it. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's no recession," even though GDP was down like 3 of the last 5 quarters, but. People are suffering right now. It's hard to fill your grocery bag. It's hard to fill your car. It's hard to empty your bills. It's tough for people, and I appreciate it.
Hard to empty your balls too. But anyway, I'm just saying.
Sometimes.
But here, Anna sent this to me last week, and it's true. It's true. 58% of Americans, 58% of Americans, and I'm included in that. 58% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 58% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, it's just and it's because of how everything, and they're just gouging the hell out of you in the fact that lumber, let's raise lumber. Okay, well let's raise cement. Okay. You're in the building. You've been trying to redo your house now for I don't know how long. You started about 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
Remember when we did my remodel on my apartment? 2x4s, just straight, 2x4s were like $239 or $249 a 2x4.
Yeah.
What are they now? $7?
They came down a little bit, but they hit a high around $7.50, $8.
And so what are they like
Triple.
right now?
Probably on a good one, probably about $5. $4 or $5.
See,
Right in the middle.
But that's not normal inflation. That's doubling the price of something. That's not even inflation. That's rape.
So everything, and I just talked about 2x4s. Like I was just talking about stupid ass 2x4s. Add concrete, add fuel, add the power bill to your house, the grocery store. My Lord. Anna, what did your yogis used to cost and what are they costing now?
Oh, right now they're
just your yogis.
$6.89, almost $7.
What were they when you first started this show? What were yogis?
Ooh, probably like
$250?
No.
$350?
Maybe like $4.50.
All right, $4.50 and they're $7 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. It's almost doubling.
So eggs. Everybody talks about eggs.
Oh, eggs were like $1.83.
Yeah,
and now they're like $5.
And you could get them all day for $1.99 all day. If you knew how to shop, you go, and never more than $2.49.
I mean, as much research as I've done, I think it's mostly a bird flu deal. But
but then again, okay, so why
maybe it's unrelated to everything
concrete,
else.
2x4s, my power,
bad luck,
gas, insurance,
yeah.
Everything has some BS excuse of why it went up.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's because everything went up. And it all started with fuel prices.
It does.
And that's where it starts and ends is with fuel prices. And when fuel prices go up, everyone feels it in their purse.
Now, Dan, did tuition go up at your school?
It goes up every year, like 5-8%, something like that. That's normal. That's normal cost of living / slight inflation. But tuitions have been going up across the board for the last 30 years, 5 to 10% a year, every year, no matter what.
Regardless if
I don't think those went up
0.5 inflation or
yes, those things have been obscene since they started giving away so much free money for tuition, and so when the pandemic first started, my financial guy showed me a really scary graph, and that is when the COVID lockdown started and people started accumulating cash and couldn't spend it. Americans had a huge amount of cash in reserve. And
what do you mean they couldn't spend it?
Because you couldn't go anywhere. It was hard to spend money the first 2 or 3 months of the pandemic. People were getting money for free, not working, but having difficulty spending money because you couldn't buy chattel, you couldn't travel. All you could do is buy food. And food went up a little bit, but not that much. Fuel prices didn't change much, but no one drove. So in fact, fuel prices went down. And there was, minimal inflation. Interest rates were super low. And when the, Iron Curtain lifted, Americans rebounded really, really, really quickly. And then the disaster, the nail in the coffin, which really started and really promoted the inflation was, like we talked about, Bubba, fuel prices.
That's what everything starts and stops.
Right. And then...
Because you know why? Everything from that 2x4 to Anna's Yogi to, whatever, to it all needs to, at one time or another, get shipped from a distribution, from the manufacturer to the distributor to the store. Right. So there's at least, it's made somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's always sent to a distribution, and then the distribution sends it out accordingly. So it's trucked at least 2 and sometimes 3 times, right? Well, right. Now, when fuel goes from, and you got to probably use diesel as the gauge.
I think so. I think that's fair.
Right, because nothing gets trucked. I mean, but you use diesel. Yeah, and diesel, that's why they gouge diesel always more, because that creates fuel surcharges, Johnny Trucking Company, what was diesel when gas was? Well, here, give me the price of gasoline on Trump's last day of office for diesel.
Why don't we do the last day of the election? I mean, the day of the election, because that's really before, because fuel prices change on futures.
All right, hold on.
As soon as they knew that Biden was president, I think fuel prices started creeping up.
Hey, Alexa, what were fuel prices on the day of the election, Trump versus Biden? Might be a little too much for
Sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's November 4th, 2020.
Hey, Alexa, what were fuel prices November 4th, 2020? Bitch, about to get mines. Hey, Alexa, what were fuel prices November 4th, 2020?
Let me bing.
Let me bing for the save. Jesus.
217 was...
Hold on, be quiet. Okay. Alexa, are you awake?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here.
But you're very, very much being a bitch today. All right, let me go ahead.
The average fuel price 2020 was 217.
For what?
217 for what?
For fuel.
For fuel. And what was diesel?
It was 298.
298. So can we call that a 3?
Yes.
Okay, we can call that a 3. And what is diesel right now? Let me ask her. Hey, Alexa, what are current diesel prices?
Here's something I found on turnpikeinfo.com.
No.
The EIA reports the national average cost of diesel surged 6 cents per gallon and now stands at $2.48.
There's no way.
No.
I just bought diesel this week.
It was like $5, right?
Yeah.
4 something.
Hey, Alexa.
Is that a national
What
average?
are diesel prices today?
The closest answer I know is from January 17, 2022. When the United States' diesel gas price was $3.73.
Okay. Well,
that was from January 2022.
Let me bing for the goddamn save.
National average on diesel currently is $4.23.
All right. So $4.23. $1.23 a gallon. So what happens is Johnny, who's shipping, 5,000 truckloads of 2x4s to Lowe's and Home Depot and Menard's distribution center, now has to pay $1.23 extra per gallon, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, those semis get, honest to God, about 8 miles to the gallon.
Right.
8 miles to the gallon. So, I mean, they add, everything's got a fuel
surcharge, and it's usually the percentage.
Right.
The ship.
So,
and that implies food.
So the fuel surcharge gets charged from the guy who makes it, who ships it to the warehouse. So now the warehouse is paying for more. And then the warehouse who ships it to the distribution center, he has to tack it on, right?
Yep, definitely.
And then the distribution center that takes it to the actual store. And the average thing's trucked at least 3, maybe 4 times.
Well, let's peel it back even more. So why did fuel go up? Is it because production at the refineries shut down, or?
I think
for
fuel
a while,
went up.
right?
I
Because
think
there were
fuel,
no planes, people weren't driving. So
I think fuel went up for a couple different reasons. One, what you just said.
Yeah.
And then two, anytime we have a little Hurricane Ian or anything like that, even though Hurricane Ian I don't think really affected any oil rigs.
I don't think so.
You know, the biggest port.
No, there's only one thing that really affected fuel prices.
What?
Biden's fuel policy. And
Yeah,
his
yeah.
commitment to shut down fossil fuels.
Well, remember
at
the
expense
pipeline?
of the Americans.
Yeah.
You know,
The
that
pipeline
didn't
that-
help either. None of it helped.
The pipeline which stopped, which is completed, clear to about the middle of Missouri.
Right.
And it needs to make a left and go to like the middle of Illinois, which I think is the second largest refinery, and then continue to
South.
go on down to Corpus Christi or
Right.
the Houston Galveston area. They have the pipeline built all the way from Alaska. All the way from Alaska, all the way cut through Canada, all through the Dakotas, or whatever.
But I went through an Indian burial ground.
Yeah, they went through that. Sorry, and then they got it stopped somewhere like in Missouri.
Yeah.
They just got to make a small little left and connect it over to Illinois, and then they got to come on down to Houston. They probably have percentage-wise 80% of the pipeline built.
Can you imagine?
And his first day in office,
Shut it down.
His first, I think maybe perhaps one of the first bills,
One of the
he
first
signed.
executive orders,
Yeah.
right? Because he said he was going to do it, and he did it. Which,
Like
whatever.
I think on a day 1 or 2.
I think
Yeah.
it was the first day in
Yeah, I
office.
think it was
gonna
like I'm going
stop
to
the
sign this
wall.
here bill, stopping the wall and stopping the pipe.
Stopping the wall and stopping the pipeline. Two disasters for America. Him stopping the wall has allowed literally millions of migrants to cross the southern border, which is a true disaster. It threatens our sovereignty. It threatens our security. It's adding
And here's the good
to
thing:
to the
we
fentanyl
need
epidemic.
good migrants. We really do.
Yeah,
we
but-
really need good migrants. So they should have to have like a migrant test.
Right.
For real.
I don't disagree, Bubba. And, back in the day, we used to really screen who came into America and stayed in America. And now we
And
are
when-
just a funnel.
And
Just
when
come
you were
in.
when you were on, was that Paris Island?
Ellis
Ellis.
Island.
When you were on Ellis Island, didn't they if you were not worthy necessarily, or you were stupid, or you looked fat and lazy, or
You had a disease,
didn't
or
they
were sickly.
Didn't they literally sequester you and send you back?
They would either sequester you and see how you did after a week if you were sick, and if you were crippled or useless or decided to be undesirable
They gave you
at
the
that
good
time,
news.
you got a U-turn and a round-trip ticket back.
Right. They did. They
Yep.
actually said, I'm
Bye-bye.
sorry, guy on crutches with 2 broken legs and a
Sorry.
learning disability
Yep.
who's 52 years old, who cannot come into the American workplace and really, really kick some ass.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later, buddy.
What gives everyone
Send
the
your
right to the big party?
send your young family that's got strong backs over here immediately.
Right, or some education.
It says about 2% of were turned around for good.
Hold on, that's it?
Yes.
We let 98% of immigrants in?
Yeah, at the Ellis Island. Usually about 20 to 30% were stopped.
20 to 30% or 2%? You stop.
20
He
to
doesn't
30%
know.
were
He
stopped.
doesn't know.
2% were turned away for good.
That's it?
20 to 30% were as Dr. Dan said, taken in for a screening, detained for many reasons, and 2% were turned away for good. Is what the number is.
It seemed like there was a lot more than that. Well, that's when we really needed people. That's when, we really
We're
needed.
expanding as a country.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
growing.
that's when we really needed people. Well, guess what? We're full. We're absolutely full.
Yeah, tapped out.
We're full of lazy people that want to come in and get a super care pack, like a starter. I think they give them welcome to American starter kits, don't they?
Oh yeah, we used to have the welcome wagon. Now we got the Biden welcome wagon.
We used to
And we give them
have
cell phones and money.
I think
and
we used to
housing.
have, hey buddy, go on into New York and find yourself a job or find your family and start working for their business, or start working. Just start working. Now we got, hey buddy, here's a check, a cell phone, some free insurance, and
Some housing.
and sign up right here. We'll get you some housing,
And here's your Democratic registration.
and here's your Democratic registration. Don't forget about Power to the Blue, my friend.
Yep.
Who lets you right on in here.
Yep.
That's how you do it nowadays.
That's how they're doing it.
Let me just send something. We'll throw up. Good. Is this from President Biden's
his
Twitter?
tweet- your TV's not on for Dan to see.
Oh, it's not. I got to turn it on. Next break, we'll turn it on. Good. The fans will see it. If Dan's monitoring, Dark Match Macho Man will throw it up.
on Rumble. I see it now.
Good news. Inflation has fallen by 45% from its summer peak under President Biden.
So now we're
This week's
still
data
massive.
showed continued progress in our fight against inflation, with annual inflation at its lowest since May of 21. We're seeing lower prices at gas, groceries, and electronics, and wages are up.
No, we're not seeing lower prices.
That's breathing room
We're
for the
seeing-
hardworking Americans.
We're seeing a slight less increase, and he's calling that a victory. It's still increasing massively, dramatically, at a way higher rate than it has in 20 years. He sucks.
Easy, Dan.
He sucks. As president, he sucks. What's his job? His job is to do three things. His job is to make America easier to live in, safer to live in, and stronger in the world. And he's failing at all three.
Well, he wants to lick the world, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
licking. No. I think I'd give him a pass on that one.
Well, we'll come back with that. Anna sent me an article where didn't you say he wanted to lick the world?
Yeah, and it was funny because Blitz and I were like, what was he trying to say?
Lick.
Like, I don't even know.
Lick, because lick can mean like beat up. He got licked.
Oh, like you're like saying, oh man,
Right.
Anna, you took on that girl and you really licked her.
Yeah, it was a big
I mean,
licking.
it
You
wasn't-
gotta
I've never
lick
heard
it.
that before,
don't-
but
it
I'll
It's like
believe
a
you.
kicking butt.
It's not a lesbian thing. It's like
Okay.
you licked her.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's really, really like old.
Old
it's
school
like
Irish.
Yeah.
It's old
yeah,
Irish
it's,
school.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
It's
Well, he lives
like
in Ireland.
it's like like.
Well, my
like,
bad,
like-
Biden. I didn't realize.
Like little rascals. Like, man, Spanky, you really licked him.
Yeah.
You gave that guy a good licking.
Yeah, a good licking.
Yeah, you gave that guy a good lick. Spanky's not, turning,
It's archaic.
No, it's very.